There we go. In honor of Carl and Nancy. I hope Carl makes it. And your theme of light. Imcha mechor chayim. Imcha mechor chayim. Imcha mechor chayim. Merehor. For with you is the source of life. For with you is the source of life. For with you is the source of life. In your light we see light. Ki imcha mechor chayim. Ki imcha mechor chayim. Ki imcha mechor chayim. Be'orcha nirei or. For with you is the source of life. For with you is the source of life. For with you is the source of life. In your light we see light. Yai, lai, lai, ya, lai, lai, yai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Thank you so much, Shandel, for that beautiful nigun and opening. Bruchot habaot, bruchim habaim b'shem Yah. Welcome and shalom, dear RPA Chevre. I'm Lisa Levine, one of the co-presidents of the RPA. On behalf of our entire board, I want to welcome you to this RPA annual meeting at OHALAH. All of us are engaged in the holy work of healing, and I want to acknowledge all of the incredible work we are all doing, supporting our clients, our patients, our communities, our families, and attending this meeting and possibly OHALAH as part of our own self-care. Thank you for your support of the RPA this year. I especially want to thank the RPA board members who have shown up and added their gifts to helping this organization stay afloat. Thank you, Chaya, my co-president. Thank you, Dee Herman and Sandra Wurtzel, past presidents who've guided us. Thank you, Shandel and Aggie and Katya for sharing the responsibility of leadership with us. Thank you to those who have attended our healing circles. We plan on keeping those going through the spring. And we're gathering in a mini Kala this summer, July 6th to 10th, and I pray that some of us can gather together in Fort Collins in person so that we can add our healing spirits to that program. Before I hand things over to Chaya, I also want to welcome our student members, Sylvia, Julie, Elka, and Lee, as well as our newest Musmachim, Rebs Carl and Nancy. We will officially welcome and bless you later. I also want to welcome our wonderful Shulamit, who we love so much, and thank you for being our angel and guiding us through so many years. We love you. I also want to acknowledge the loss of one of our members, Reb Andy Gold. He lost his battle with pancreatic cancer recently. We send our heartfelt condolences to his family and all who loved him. Zichrono livracha, may his memory be for a blessing. As a short check-in and reflection on the times we're living in, I've made daily practice my mantra, and I've used this time I've been gifted during the pandemic to stay busy with things that mean most to me in my life: family, pastoral and congregational work, my music, gardening, writing, and tennis. Yoga, of course, has been my passion. And my pursuit of those things has brought me much joy, reward, and balance. Most of all, I feel blessed to be part of this holy kahal, this community, and pray for a time when we'll be together in person very, very soon. I'm going to turn it over to Chaya, who's going to extend her welcome and invite everyone by name to check in just with a brief sentence or two. And then we'll commence with our very full agenda. Chaya. You're muted, Chaya.
You're muted. That's the common phrase. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. I'm the Chaya and I'm the co-president. And I want to welcome everybody and ask that we do a 1 or 2 sentence check-in. Things are going actually surprisingly well, except for my dog dying in Surfside. The talk that I did yesterday went amazingly well, and I appreciate all the support. I also appreciate all the support from the Jewish Renewal community. I would not have made it without your support as I blogged, so to speak, the aches and pains of doing this and the blessings. So things are going well here in Miami, and I want to turn it over, let's say, to Tavona.
I want to add, Chaya, my appreciations for what you presented yesterday. It really was important teaching that you did. Thank you. So right now I feel that I'm fully immersed in the AOP in almost as many ways as one could imagine. So I, along with Reb D, I'm one of the directors of study for the RP program. I'm sitting on the search committee for the new dean, and I am the Shomeret, the interim leadership until the new dean is in place. So not a lot of time for many other things, but I'm really happy to be here and happy to see all of you. Shana Punham. Debarty.
We are exceptionally proud of you, Tavona. Let's hear from our new Reb, Nancy Shapiro.
Who?
Used to it.
Yeah. It seemed like such a long time coming, and then in like a flash, it's here, it's now. Well, as I mentioned a little earlier when we first signed on, I'm still in this like rarefied atmosphere. I'm like walking on air. It was such an immersion to be in that ceremony. Those of us in the Zoom webinar part of it got to see each other and all of our clergy and mentors and teachers with us, and just I felt like they did accompany us through all of it together, and especially the support of the other 7 people in my cohort. I mean, we started off not really knowing each other, and we ended up knowing each other very well. Perhaps more than one would have wanted to reveal of oneself, but nonetheless, we were a bit under all kinds of different pressures for time and energy and effort, and we pulled it off. Baruch Hashem.
Our sage, Shulamit.
Thank you. Wish that I felt like a sage.
All the time, Shulamit, all the time.
Thank you, honey. It's so lovely to see all your faces. And I'm really struck by how many people are on this screen and knowing that this is not all of us, and having known when there were 2 people in the rabbinic pastor program, it's such an amazing amount of growth. And Tivona, I am just bursting with pride that your position now has your title right up there. I mean, we had days when no one knew what a rabbinic pastor was, except that it was Reb Zalman's dream. And here we are with a rabbinic pastor in this very high position on the AOP. And I'm just proud of every single one of you, and even the ones that aren't here. And I thank you all very, very much. Thanks. Next.
Our other sage, Dee.
I wouldn't go that far. Um, and again, thank you, Chai. I think for me yesterday, being part of your presentation, listening to it and taking it all in, stayed with me all through the day, far more than anything else that I experienced. And it was, like Tivona said, very important. What's going on? I'm a director of studies for a few of our students, several of our students, and enjoying the nachas of having helped Carl get to the finish line on Sunday. Anyway, it's good to see all of you. And some of you I haven't seen in a long time, and it's lovely to see faces, even if it's not in the flesh, so to speak. DeBarty.
Our beloved
Shamati.
Shamati, our beloved sage and friend, Sandra.
Well, I wouldn't go that far either. Friend, yes. Sage, I don't know, but
We know you. We know you. You are.
Thank you so much.
Dial down the humility, but go ahead.
Thank you so much. First, I just want to say a hearty, hearty mazel tov to our musmachim ot. I'm so proud of you both, Nancy and Carl. And it was a beautiful, fantastic ceremony. Just gorgeous. I cried. I cried through it. It was just beautiful. Everything's going well here in Northern California, tucked away in the redwoods. We're just hanging out. Where to go? Nowhere. What to do? Be home. So that's basically life right now. Sacred Cattywampling with my beloved colleague, Reb Eva. We've been having a lot of fun. We have another workshop today for OHALAH and one tomorrow, and we're having a really great time. Come join us if you desire. We play and have a great time. So, and I'm just delighted to see everybody. It's so wonderful. And I look forward to the day we can hug with masks on.
Absolutely.
So much love. Thank you.
Our wonderful Eve Elson. Hopefully you're feeling better.
I haven't felt bad most of the time. For those of you who may not know, I was surprised this year by, my normal yearly checkup, and she said, "Oh dear, you have cervical cancer." So there has been a hysterectomy, and there's been some chemo, and there will be some radiation. And ready? Get set, bald, which turns out to be actually very comfortable.
You look gorgeous.
You're very kind.
No, she's telling the truth, Eve. You do. You look beautiful.
Well, thank you.
It's the consensus.
The love that comes out of your eyes makes up for everything else.
And the glow from your face.
Mhm.
One wonders whether that's radiation, but I'm glad I'm glad to feel as sturdy as I do. And I'm really glad to have the housemates that I have. So you should look this for my navigation purposes is the OHALAH schedule created by my housemate, Nathaniel's wife, Jamila, who coincidentally is also a graduate of Sarah Lawrence, like I am, and from a Palestinian family near Ramallah. So I am one of the luckiest people around. I have really good people living downstairs who really help when I need it and are not intrusive and whom I trust completely. So I really feel blessed there. And all sorts of treatments that I feel queasy about will continue. And I can keep people posted who want, but so far I'm not having, except for baldness, I'm not having any bad reactions. I'm not nauseated, etc. I may be losing some marbles. Maybe they'll come back. I don't know. But if anybody has done this particular trip and has information or advice, I would be very happy to hear. Otherwise, all is pretty much well, and it's so wonderful to see you all. And I'm praying that next year we can actually be in person and hug. Dibarti.
Shamati.
Rati. Shandal.
Shamati, Shamati. So I am well and just doing my hospice work that I have just started again after about a year and a half of a hiatus, and doing some spiritual counseling, and a mazel tov to Carl and to Nancy and to Jeremy for board certification. Woohoo! And I've just started a practice, not that I haven't had it before, but deepening a practice of gratitude. And wow, I know that gratitude is huge, but it's really changed my whole being, demeanor, to just, thank God for this house that I live in, and for the shower that's warm, and for the heat that comes in on this chilly 36-degree day in Santa Clara, California. And blessed to be on this adventure of moving, constantly moving. So I'm grateful, and it's really just amazing to see so many people here and to see all your faces, and welcome to the new students who I don't know, but I look forward to getting to know you. Debarti.
Shamati.
Shamati.
Ellen.
Ellen's not able to unmute, but she put her check-in in the chat.
Okay.
So you'll be able to do
Hopefully
that.
Hopefully you'll feel better soon, Ellen. Red Patrice.
Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see everyone. I'm going to put you on, go back to gallery so I can see everybody. So everything's doing well here. I moved to show you my view. Anyway, I just still love living here. I've been here for 15 years in Colorado, and I'm still in awe and so grateful to live here because it's so beautiful to me. So that's always there with me. And so let's see. Last time I told you guys about how I became a creative life coach, which has been really great. And I'm enjoying that. And since then, I have also studied and become an advanced theta healing practitioner, which is a really cool form of healing. And I'm very much enjoying it. It has helped me a lot. So I'm enjoying doing that with people too. So that's my biggest news, I think. Thank you, Debarti.
Shamati, I get the honor of saying board certified chaplain Jeremy Sher, Rabbi.
Well, thank you, Chaya. I'm actually not allowed to use BCC yet. I have to wait till the board
It's our
actually
secret.
votes.
Our
Um,
secret.
yeah, but no, it was wonderful. I was recommended for BCC and should be happening in April. I'll get to change my business cards. So thank you. I didn't know I could come to this until I got a very kind invite from Lisa. My goodness, it's cold on the East Coast today. Um,
Well, there are a few folks who are not official members of the RPA, but we want to welcome you in. So we're hoping that you will become members after this meeting and you are part of us. So
oh, great. No, I didn't realize that was an option. Um, so, other than BCC, I'm doing great. I am now serving Mount Zion Hospital as the solo chaplain in San Francisco. It's pretty cool. It's a historically Jewish hospital, so it's cool that they hired a rabbi, um, and it's part of the UCSF system. And my personal life is going great, so it's just wonderful to see everybody. And I will close there because I otherwise tend toward verbosity. Um, Dibarti.
Shmati.
Matya,
Good to see everybody. It's been a while since I've been able to join you. It is so strange doing chaplaincy during this pandemic, going into facilities in full PPE and trying to talk to people who can't hear with a mask on and they're wearing a mask and pull it down. But I do love the connections. Kabbalat Shabbat at assisted living facilities is, people are so grateful to have that time together. What keeps me balanced are my own mashpihim. Doing that spiritual direction work, all on Zoom, is surprisingly easy to do on Zoom. And it means that I can keep in touch with people in California and New York and Florida. It's been a busy 2 years sitting in my chair. I have some chaplaincy and ministry students that I supervise. I continue doing my spirit song practice with Shandel. I have someone I'm mentoring in Musar, got her a job in my area because I didn't want to do it. And it's been busy and good. We had a fire a year ago, March, and it's luckily in an outbuilding in a garage, so it didn't affect the house. But today they're putting the final touches on insulating the garage, so that will be off the plate. So as Shandel says, gratitude, gratitude, doing what we can do to help others and to keep ourselves in balance. So good to see everybody.
Sylvia,
Hello, let me do this. Hello. It's wonderful to be able to be here. This has been an interesting journey since July. I didn't expect to be able to do a CPE unit on my first. So I've gone from being a baby chaplain now to maybe a toddler chaplain. And I did it at the skilled nursing facility and assisted living facility in the same retirement village where my mom lives, and in Silver Spring. So I'm also commuting from Southern Virginia up to Maryland. My mom is now 101. And I don't recommend doing your first CPE unit and having to do a didactic unit on grief and mourning at the same time that your parent is beginning to walk on the path towards death. But it is an intense form of learning. And today is a yard site for my father. So I awoke in tears and gratitude. And I still am. And I'm grateful for all of my friends and my colleagues. And I'm looking forward to Rabbinic Pastor Nancy still being my spirit buddy. Departi.
Shamati.
Shamati.
Julie, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay, cool. Hi, I had some sound stuff. Everyone was given the weather report. So it was 73 degrees yesterday in Los Angeles here. Sorry, Carl. Thanks for having me here. This is my first meeting. I'm a new member of the RPA. Thank you for letting me in as a student member. Yeah, my check-in, well, I'll just say a little bit about my background, I guess. You know, Baruch Hashem, everything's fine. My check-in is good, thumbs up. I am a first-year student in Olive's Rabbinic Pastor program. My, so far, so good. My background is in the social justice, environmental justice sector. I work professionally full-time for a really large civil liberties organization and have for quite some time. And I also serve as both the Jewish and the Buddhist chaplain in the women's jail here in Los Angeles, and have been doing death and dying work through the Hever Kadisha and as a death educator, I don't know, for like 17, 18 years or so too. I'm really interested in movement chaplaincy. Some of my work right now through my last CPE was in movement chaplaincy, as well as at the jail, and then also, you know, through the grief and loss mourning process. So I don't know, it feels like a good place for me to be in. Sounds like just a ton of sage wisdom here. You're all so nice to each other. So I'm eager to learn from you all. And Sylvia, holding you and your family in my heart, and Eve, blessings on your healing journey. So thanks, everyone. Nice to meet you all that I haven't met, and look forward to learning with you.
Welcome.
What is movement chaplaincy?
We need to move through everyone's check-in, and then we'll open up and talk later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we have a
I'll
big
put a link
agenda
in
to
the
get
chat.
to. Love you guys. Okay.
Nalini,
Hey, it's good to be back. I hail also from Boulder, Colorado, and I'm one of the luckiest women on the planet because I get to hang out with Reb Patrice, and it's been a while, I think, since the high host, since I've hung out with Reb Eve. I've been spending time infusing pastoral presence into technology and data and artificial intelligence, and I work with organizations to improve their data privacy and their security practices. And supporting my beloved wife, who is serving as a congregational rabbi here in Boulder. And some of you know Diane Tiferet. We just got back from Germany. We actually traveled overseas, and it was quite smooth and pleasant. And mostly I feel blessed and happy to reconnect. Over the last couple of years, I've sometimes been called for community chaplaincy and doing life cycle events, mostly around death and dying and services for people who've succumbed to COVID and other things. And it's my honor to continue to do that work. Thank you, Debarti.
Shamati, Rab Carl.
Woohoo!
Oh boy. So when I got married 34 years ago, I had been living with my wife for a while, my not yet wife, who then became my wife. And people said to me the day after the wedding, "Does it feel any different?" And I said no. So when I woke up on Monday, it didn't feel any different, but it was different. So the same with getting married. It didn't feel any different, but it was different. There was a different space that had been created. It was just different. So it doesn't feel different, but it is different. I've tried my best not to do very much in the last couple of days, having been a little overwhelmed. Chaya, I presumed your session was going to be recorded, so I didn't get my rear out of bed, and it wasn't. So fortunately, you have a really nice PowerPoint, so I'm able to at least see that.
It should have been recorded.
It does not.
It's
say,
recorded.
it is?
It is recorded, yes.
Okay, because it didn't say that on the when I went to the app, but I'll go back and check. So where I am is just thrilled with where I am. It's I don't know how else to say it. I now have like 3 days of responding to all the emails and the messages, which is like, it's a lot of work to go back and now find all those and make sure I don't miss anybody. But I got emails from people that I haven't spoken to in, 30 years who sent me congratulatory emails, and I certainly have to respond to them now. Even truthfully, my ex-wife, who I invited to come watch the ceremony because she was there when I first toyed with the idea of becoming a rabbi. So she was part of that journey 40 something years ago. And she emailed me right away and thanked me for inviting her and was just overjoyed with how this is. So it's been a long journey. I'm glad I'm here. What else can I say? Oh, I can say one other thing. If I was living in Colorado, I'd be okay with there being snow and cold, but I'm living in South Jersey. And when my wife said it feels cold in the house, and I pulled up the weather app and it said the feels like temperature is 5 last night, I said, this is not a good thing. So that's what I have to say. New Jersey is not supposed to be 5. And
Thank you, Carl. We kind of like have to rush for time. So let's get the rest of you. I'm sorry, we need to kind of brief check in. Hina.
Greetings, everyone. This is a bit momentous for me because I've been away from OHALAH for 7 years, and I'm back, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be back. In that time, I've continued to work at Hospice of the Piedmont as a part-time chaplain, and my biggest happiness to report is that I was able to succeed in encouraging the organization to bring spiritual education in, which you would think would already be there, but it wasn't. And now all kinds of programs are starting thanks to that push, which I'm so grateful for. And the other thing I just want to mention, and if anybody else is interested in talking with me about this, I would love to. I discovered this year that I have ADHD inattentive type, and it has clarified many things about the difficulties I've had in my life, which I thought were other issues, but actually ADHD was underlying all of them. So now I'm receiving treatment and help with that. And I just want to mention that in case anyone wants to connect. And I also want to express my gratitude, appreciation, and honoring of each of you. It's wonderful to hear what you're up to. Divarti.
Shamati.
Shamati.
Mid-drink here.
Stacy.
Stacy.
Sorry, I didn't hear my name. Hello. It's good to be with all of you today. Yes, in North Carolina, it's very cold. I continue to be serving our small Yavna community in pastoral ways, and I'm with the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Durham, large community, as their pastoral care minister. And I'm grateful for the ways of, for the many ways of being trained to serve in compassionate and caring ways especially considering the times that we're living in. And that's all I'll say at this moment in the interest of time. Barty.
Shmati.
Shmati.
Al. Yeah.
Thank
Who's
you.
up?
All of the, I can't tell you how uplifting the smicha ceremony was yesterday, and to see your shining neshamas on a close screen instead of in the back of a great big hall was truly rewarding. I received my rabbinic pastor's smicha in 2004 as a Jewish chaplain. And I've worked in hospital care as a rabbi and a rabbinic pastor for 18 years. And I'm very grateful for the presence of this specialty that authorizes you and me to do the things that we yearn to do. The life cycle rabbis and all the wonderful things. So blessings for your journey. And just very quickly, a month ago, our 6th grandchild, our grandson, was born. And the day before, unexpectedly, my 59-year-old brother died of a massive stroke. So to be caught between this and that is really the challenge of being both in this field and in this body. So I'm really in a slightly altered state, and I've been doing Jewish hospice for 6 years, and I am going to be stepping back and just trying to do more for me, just more heart sustaining, creative, loving myself work. So Dibarti, I look forward to seeing you at the next OHALAH meeting, hopefully in person.
Shmati. Yes, I'm into that. Simcha.
So I became rabbinic pastor in 1990, and I think Leon is around that era, and Eve and Andy Gold, Alava Shalom, and Reb Zalman would have a lot of nachas seeing this meeting. This is the singularly largest meeting of rabbinic pastors in the history of the Jewish people. Okay, so let's just put that into context, and he would have a lot of nachas in that. I'm in transition today, so I'm doing the best I can to be present. In the pandemic, I reformatted all my teaching onto multicolored fades for Zoom. I did 75 presentations in a 12-month period on death education and end-of-life issues, and I burnt out. I just got tired. So I'm doing less teaching. I am doing a lot of bereavement work and a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of suicide and parental loss. And so I'm just trying to find a way to keep working without being overwhelmed. I'm working on a protocol of working 3 out of 4 months, 3 out of 4 weeks of the month. And I'm also teaching less, and I'm starting to research something I'm calling "And Noah Wept: Judaism's Wisdom on Climate Grief and Eco-Anxiety." That is really what is calling me. Stay in touch, and you will hear more of that. Gila Razel and I are in Sarasota, Florida. Melissa Winnig, a former rabbinic pastor, has been having Kabbalat Shabbat at her house. Goldie is here. There's a number of people, so it seems to draw us. I'm a Canadian. I could live with winter. For those of you who are cold, the Norwegians say there is no bad weather. There's only bad clothing. That's my pastoral wisdom for today. And I'll try to stay on most time. We're about to take a drive to a little village an hour from here. So let's give ourselves a mazel tov for this historic meeting.
Jay.
Hey, so when I got your Lisa, when I got your message, I was like so honored. I was before there was an official RP program. I was ordained to RP in 2000 when I was working at Calvary Hospital, which is a end of life hospital, and I was the first rabbi to be on a beautiful movie called "What Is a Rabbinic Pastor?" And I am so proud of the rabbinic pastors who have such a specialty in counseling. I'm also extremely proud because I see a whole bunch of those faces. I was the clinical director of a COVID initiative called Ruach Emotional and Spiritual Support, and they were practitioners of and provided such amazing support to so many people in need. And I know that Shandel continues to do that. And I'm so proud. And I just want to say that life is great. I just took a couple of rocks out of my collection here. One says dream. The RP program has been a dream of Zalman's, and also a dream of all of us. And when I look out and see all these radiant, beautiful faces, and it's just amazing. The other one that came out was Be the Change You Wish to See in the World from Gandhi. And so that's about us. And this is for Eve, especially for Eve. It says, consider yourself hugged. And so, sending love from Huntington. I'm freezing. Huntington, New York, it's cold. But I'm healthy and grateful and so happy to be here with all of you. And so proud of every single one of you. Thank you.
Leon, are you with Jackie or are you just by yourself?
I am by myself. Jackie is in the other room.
Well, beloved Leon, go ahead.
I'm going to be very brief. I'm sorry I got on late. I had someone with a problem calling me. Oh, Jackie just walked in. Anyway, as you know, I'm in Bloomington, Indiana for the last 5 years. Came here to retire after 30 years of hospital and hospice chaplaincy, and took a job immediately for another 2 years with a hospice here. And then Jackie looked at me and said, Lee, they ain't new. So now I am doing spiritual counseling, and I'm thinking of writing another book. My book, Anatomy of a Tear, has been a success, and I'm thinking of writing another book. And rather than go on and on about me, I'd like to ask you, Haya and Lisa, if before we sign off, we could take a minute or two so Sylvia could recite Kaddish for her father as we have a minyan. So blessings, everybody, and it's my honor to be with you.
Thank you, Leon.
Thank you. We have to get through this agenda, and then we will hopefully be able to do that.
Quickly, my roomie, Aggie.
Unmute, darling.
There we go. First and foremost, my tears are flowing since yesterday. This feels so yummy, despite the fact that we're not together, we are together. And so it feels so good. It's been a very tough year for me, lots and lots of losses. Dear friends and family members, it's been very challenging. On the other hand, let me just think. I have these two amazing animals, and one I've discovered is an angel, not a cat. And he tends to figure things out and make things just yummy. I changed jobs, and I have a new job now in the giant hospital of Milwaukee. I think we have something like 800 patients. A new director, and I work with people that I love and people that I've known for most of my life since I've lived in Milwaukee. when the pandemic hit, I did a lot of cooking, soup. I live in a condo. There's 40 families in individual homes, and we have a number of elder folks. And so I was the soup deliverer. And every Shabbat for about 3 months, I bought bouquets of flowers from Trader Joe and just dropped it off at doors so that nobody would know where it came from. And I'm starting to do some more of that again in a different neighborhood. And it feels really good to be an angel. I'm discovering that giving really lifts my spirit. I also am working with a couple of people doing some counseling, which is a whole new thing for me, private counseling. So it feels like I'm really busy, healthy, and things are going well. And I'm hoping that the pandemic will end. I didn't realize how much I missed everybody, and just being online and seeing your faces. I spent a lot of time with tears. I didn't realize how much the pandemic has also affected me. So thank you for being here and being there, and having an opportunity to connect. Marty.
Thank you, Aggie. So I'm going to turn it over to Tivona and Dee to give us a brief report about the RP program.
Okay. So currently we, now that we've graduated 2 of our students, we now have 7 in our roster. Julie being one of the newbies. And hopefully one may be coming up for graduation next year. And one student who took a leave of absence this year, and we don't know yet if when she'll be returning.
And in terms of incoming students, we have 2 applicants, and that seems to be about our norm, usually 2 to 3 applicants a year. One thing, I received most of the incoming inquiries about the RP program, and so I just wanted to report on what we're seeing in terms of who's looking. We are seeing younger and younger people. I think for many of us here on these screens, we came into this program kind of after another career and wanting to do work that was more spiritual, fulfilling, and to be of service to the world. We are seeing lots of young people who I talk to now in their 20s even and 30s. And there's a spiritual maturity that really takes my breath away. And I think it's this generation of 9/11, of climate change, that if it doesn't crush people, it somehow elevates them and motivates them. And I want to also, to answer Eve's question about movement chaplaincy. There's all kinds of ways now of need for pastoral care support on the streets during protests, supporting people who are heading up movements for racial justice and social justice. They also need pastoral care support. So this is a newish developing direction for chaplaincy. And Julie is kind of really grabbing this, educating me a lot, but also we're looking at then how do you do CPE? How do you, outside of a medical model? So there's just a lot of newness that we're looking, as the AOP also is looking at what is the next 20 years going to need from us. The RP program also, what is the next 20 years going to look like and need from us? Barty.
Thank you so much for that wisdom, both of you. We are so grateful for your leadership and everything that you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And congratulations to all of us for this wonderful gathering It's beautiful to see everybody. I was looking at our membership. We actually have 31 regular members, and not all of our students are on our roster yet, but we will get them here. All of us are remaining radically present for those that we serve, and I'm so proud that we're part of this incredible kahal. We're in the process of updating the video that was created a few years ago, and I just wanted to let you know that we're still looking for a few more photos for that. We're just updating it with new titles and using something that will be a little more accessible for those who are looking to join the RP program. We have an email that's going to be used for that. And the video is being done right now, and it's part of our budget. We are not spending a lot of money. The original editor who made that video, Phyllis, is working with us to just make those few updates. So that the cost of that, and I'm about to present the budget, but does anyone have any questions about the video? And also I wanted to ask if anyone has any photos of them doing what they do as a chaplain, as long as it doesn't violate any HIPAA laws. If you could send those along to me as soon as possible, the deadline really is coming up. Yes, Shulamit and then Tavona.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little disturbed. That video took years of raising money, of finding people to make it, of actually doing it, and you didn't even tell me that you're doing anything to it.
Well, we're not changing the video at all. It's a beautiful video. We're really not changing it. That's why it didn't cost very much to update. But there are titles that needed to be changed. So we had to update the banners in the video.
Point I would like to make, if you would let me finish my statement, I'll be quiet.
Okay, and then I'll turn it over to Tavona.
It would have been really lovely for you to call me and tell me that you were doing that. Just because I'm no longer the director, I'm still the founding director, and I made that video. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that's the way I'm feeling. Thank you very much.
Tavona.
If I can add to what Lisa was saying, is that what we were finding is because there was inaccurate information, especially about contacts related to applying for the RP program and such, that we were getting confusion among people who were seeing it in places where it was posted. So it was creating more problems than it was solving. So that was one of the reasons. So mainly just changing titles, current contact information and things like that. That was the main focus of that. We want it to be out there. And I would also add that once it's finalized, this new revision, if you know where it's posted in a variety of places, we need to swap it out. Mainly because we want anybody who wants to get a hold of the RPA or wants to get a hold of the RP program to have the correct information so they know where to go.
And I also want to add that before we do any of the final postings, that we intend to send it to you, Reb Shulamit. We intend to have you look at it, and it's got it's got everything that you created. It's so beautiful. There were just a few banners we needed to change. And the other big thing that we needed to add was there was really nothing about the RPA, which is a professional association that we do. So we added a tiny tag about that. I recorded something that was added. And we also added the RPA logo, which wasn't included originally. So there's just a couple of little tweaks, and I think you're going to love it. In fact, I think you are going to kval, because it was your project. You spearheaded that, and we're so grateful that you did that. And it really is a magnificent video. It just needed to be updated. And I took direction from Tavona and Dee and Sandra and a few of us in the board. We welcome your participation in any time that you would like to be involved as well.
Oh.
So thank you for that. I'd like to share screen, and we're going to be sending out the video as soon as it's been. I just want to share screen so that we can approve this budget. I think this is right.
No?
Okay. Oops. Can you see the balance sheet here? So this is our balance sheet. Currently, we have $11,515 in the bank. And that's great. And then our budget for the profit and loss budget for 2022 is very much like 2021. These are our actuals. We raised $21.70 from dues. Thank you everyone for that. And we paid a little bit of a fee to OHALAH, which we continue to do. We have some bank charges. We have $1,500 for the updating of the video, which is was really amazing that she did that for that price. And then for our computer work, $140. So we're still, next year, we'll still make a little bit of money, even with the expense of the update of the video. We'll still make $390, which is great. And I would like to ask that someone move to accept this budget as it's proposed at this meeting.
So moved.
So moved.
Great, and if somebody could just second that?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So the budget has been passed, yay. And Shandel, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Great. So, so I just want to honor you, Shulamit. You know, we're sorry if we erred on. Yeah, we're sorry. And we did put out a call to everybody around this video, and we should have contacted you first. So we're sorry. So I'm just here to say, wow, like, look at us here, how many, and as Simcha Raphael said, Mazel Tov. So let's build on this incredible energy, and we need you to step up to join us in the RPA program. We need people to come onto our board. Lisa, I just want to honor you, Lisa and Chaya, for the work that you've done, and Lisa for your, incredible way that you just bring us in, the way that you invited so many people. Thank you, thank you. So I really want to honor you, Lisa, and they've, would like to step down as co-presidents, but we need people to step up into positions. And basically, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. It means coming to a meeting, every few months, just kind of talking about what we need in terms of the organization. So it just means, taking 2-3 people and to join us. It's basically Lisa and myself and Chaya and Katya right now. And it's, an hour meeting, like I say, every couple of months. So please join us, and let's, really, continue with this momentum of being together, supporting each other, loving each other, and holding all that we do together in this holy work, which is incredible. So contact me, contact Lisa, contact Chaya, and we might just call you and say, join us. And you can't say no. But please let us know, because we need you for this organization to continue.
We definitely do, and we certainly need a treasurer right away, because that's a position that I've held for almost 10 years now. I'm ready to give that over, and it's not a lot, and I can help somebody do that. And just if you're interested, I was a student when I came on the board, so you students step on up, and I already got a ping from someone who's interested in being on the board. So yay us, it's awesome. We want to keep this ball rolling and also bring us together for these healing programs that we're doing. Few people have taught for us during those, and we really appreciate you. If we could get more people on our healing circle programs. And of course, if there's someone who wants to offer a program, we're here, we want to learn from you. So it's wonderful for that. I want to circle back to one thing that happened at last year's meeting. The whole board decided that we were going to go to the OHALAH board and request and have a conversation with them about the RPA being part of OHALAH. Does anybody remember that? Because this has been going on for years. Well, we did that. We did our due diligence. We talked to the OHALAH board. We had meetings. We talked with Reb Marsha at length. We had many conversations, and after a lot of digging and talking and discussing, and then discussing some more and meeting some more, this is sort of what we came out with. After our conversations with Reb Marsha and the OHALAH board, and the RPA board voted to keep our status separate but equal to OHALAH. And the reason was varied, but there are three main reasons. First, we want to have autonomy over our budget and the funds that we raise through our membership. And if we merge with OHALAH, we would no longer have that. Number two, we want to have control over who is admitted to the RPA. Otherwise, we would have to go through okay, Julie, thank you. Thanks. Hope to hear from you. Well, stay in touch. We want to have control over who's admitted to the RPA and not have to run everything through the OHALAH membership committee. That was one of the reasons why the RPA was established, so that we could have use our own smicha and then admit those people without having to do what the cantors do, which is to run everything through the OHALAH membership committee. And number three, RPs are obviously gaining status and have the opportunity to make our mark as clergy alongside rabbis and cantors. The Aleph Vad and all the rabbis and cantors of OHALAH were totally supportive of our clergy status, and they vowed to work with us together to dispel the myth that we are sometimes viewed as less than clergy. Because Reb Marsha and Jack and all the folks on the VOD that we spoke to are completely committed to us being full members of the clergy team. And I think it's after weighing all of the information, we just decided, hey, we're strong, we're good like we are, so let's keep our own autonomy. So I wanted to put that out there at this meeting and hear if there's anybody who has any further comments about it.
Thank you, Lisa. I just also want to be cognizant of the time because the next session begins at 9 or 12.
Yes, it does. And we have we just have two more things to do. Great. But I really wanted to just make sure that we close the loop on that.
Yes, thank you.
Because we're not going to open that again, hopefully. Okay. So Chaya, it's now time to bless our musmachim and formally welcome them into the RPA.
So if everybody can lift their hands to the RP students, or RPs, new RPs, as it said. And Lisa, will you start?
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the breath of life bless you and protect you.
Ken yehi ratzon, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the source deal kindly and graciously with you. Ken ratzon.
Ken
yehi
ratzon.
ratzon. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the fountain of life bestow favor upon you and grant you peace.
Ken yehi ratzon. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Heilanu, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'siman tov. Yelanu. May you be blessed in your journey, and may we all be blessed by the fellowship and friendship that we have with one another. I'd like to end with a poem and Kaddish for not only for Andy Gold, who passed recently, for all of those who have perished in this pandemic and this plague, and for Sylvia and her family and her yahrzeit, for Debbie Friedman, who was my mentor, whose yahrzeit falls this week, and for anyone else who might be remembering a loved one this week. This is a poem called In Sorrow by Alden Solovey. Ancient One, send light into this darkness and hope into this despair. Send music into this emptiness and healing into this aching heart. Air. All I need is air. A breath to give oxygen to the anguish within. A breath to give voice to the howl in my heart. A breath to set me free. I am undone, crushed, silent by sorrow, bereft by loneliness and loss, still yearning for healing, still yearning for love, still learning for you. Ancient One, send light into this darkness and hope into this despair. Send music into this emptiness and healing into this aching heart. And if you have someone you would like to mention by name, please do so or put their name in the chat room. And join me in the words. Sure, Simcha, go ahead.
So Kaddish has only been said for about 1,000 years. It dates back to the time of the Crusades. There was mega death and they needed mega memorialization. So if you think that Jews have lived on all 5 continents, there's even a cyber minion of scientists on Antarctica. And if you think Shabbos, if you think Shachrit, Mincha, and Mariv, if you think of different time zones on different continents, the likelihood is in the past 1,000 years, rarely has 5-6 hours gone by without somebody offering the words of a Kaddish. In the past 1,000 years, rarely has more than 5 or 6 hours gone by without someone offering a Kaddish. So, as Reb Zalman would say, there's a morphogenetic field of all of those Kaddishes that are floating around the planet. And so when you stand up or when you hold somebody in Kaddish and you want to tell them this, to know that they are being held by those 1,000 years of men and women standing up and saying a Kaddish for loved ones. And it also, and this is a longer conversation for another time, it also opens up the channels to those places in the world beyond. So when we are in mourning, may we be comforted by that morphogenetic field of Kaddish all around the planet throughout the past 1,000 years.
Thank you, Reb Simcha, for your beautiful words. And let's please rise, if it's your custom to do so. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'almadi rach yirotei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomech chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'galau v'zman kari v'imru amen.
Amen.
Hey Shemei Rabba Mavarach Le'olam Olamel Maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kedusha v'rechu.
Rechu.
Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Ushbachata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Hey Shlama Rabba min Shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amen.
Amen.
Aseh shalom v'mamav. Yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Shalom. Shalom. Amen. May we all be comforted among the mourners of Zion, and let us together say,
Amen.
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 thank you all, dear friends, for joining us today. This has been wonderful. We have many wonderful offerings from all of our dear members, and I hope we'll see everybody at all of those, including the healing service. We have an angels program I'm doing with Reb Orna tonight. Who else is teaching? Dee and Shandel. Sandra is teaching. Just looking forward. Yes, Leon's teaching. Thank you all for your offerings. We really appreciate all of you and send love to everyone.
Yosher Koach, Lisa, and all of you who pulled together this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaya and Lisa, for your leadership.
And if you can send out membership apps.
Will do. I mean, I've got everybody here, and I'm going to send out membership applications to those of you who wish to be. And yes, the healing service 4 or 4:45. Oh, the healing service today. I think
4:45.
Yeah, 4:45. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. And
Blessings, everybody.
Which time? Thanks, everybody. Thank
That's
you.
Eastern
Peace,
time.
love,
Eastern.
good
4:45
health.
Eastern.
And
So
Shulamit, we love you. Wait till you see. You're going to love it.
Yes,
You will
are.
love it.
You will.
All right. Love you guys.
bye.
Bye.